The OnePlus 15 dropped finally this week. We were all seeing the designs and seeing all the specs, and it's finally fully official and out. And it's kind of a monster phone. It's a very interesting phone. Very unlike the usual like spec bump refresh that we see. This is like prime Snapdragon 8 Elite Gen 5 time, when whoever wants to be first in that wave and come out with a new phone with a new chip just drops a new phone. This one is the new chip, but also a new design, and also a new screen, and also a whole bunch of new specs, and also new software, and also this crazy build quality, and also a way worse set of cameras.
I was just about to say that.
Yeah.
I was just about to say that.
I can talk about any of this. The review is up by the time you are listening to this podcast or watching us here. So if you want to check that out, full review is out there. But what do you guys think about this new phone?
So this is a phone that is the Oppo by any other name, right?
This is the Oppo. It's basically the Find X9 Pro.
Yeah.
Minus the good cameras.
Minus the good cameras.
That color's so good.
And this is the sandstone one. And if you hold it, you will like it even more because it's like soft touch.
I was so disappointed that you were telling me the cameras were bad, because looking at that camera and you holding it and walking around, I was like, oh my God, that thing is beautiful.
I had a moment where I was like, I loved using the rest of this phone so much. I was like, well, I do have the Hasselblad in my backpack. Maybe I just don't take pictures on my phone anymore. And I had like a week where I just didn't.
That's how we do it.
So it is that good. So they dropped the we can just talk about the camera. They dropped the Hasselblad branding.
Yeah.
They dropped a lot of the Hasselblad.
So no more X-Pan mode.
No more X-Pan mode. No more orange shutter button. They do still have that sound though. That like
the leaf shutter
clunk sound.
Oh, really?
So they didn't totally wipe everything.
Okay.
But the sensors are all smaller. The apertures are all smaller. The photos are all worse. The videos are all worse. They're all noisier. The colors are duller. Everything is worse about the cameras.
Is the shutter button still orange?
No.
Yeah, I don't think it would look good on
the
that.
best part.
This phone looks good
No,
already.
it's the virtual shutter.
Oh, the virtual. Okay.
Yeah, the virtual shutter button is orange.
It feels good.
Tell me there's still the X-Pan mode, though.
There's not. Which makes my real X-Pan photos much more valuable.
Yeah. But all the other parts of this phone are A+. I'm not exaggerating. Like the specs and the performance, the Snapdragon 8 Elite Gen 5, which is paired with LPDDR5X Ultra Plus RAM.
What?
Yeah.
I'm going to fact check that.
Yeah, 16 gigs of I've memorized it so many times. LPDDR5X
We're adding
Ultra
the word
Plus
Ultra
RAM.
to RAM now?
10,000 megabytes per second
No,
RAM.
this is Ultra Plus.
Yeah, Ultra Plus. Don't forget the Plus. Very important on the 16 gig, right? But it's very fast. This phone is incredibly quick, and there's also 2 new dedicated chips in it that make it like unusually quick. There's a 3200 hertz touch response enabled by a touch response chip. And there's a dedicated Wi-Fi chip called the G2 Wi-Fi chip. And this phone loads web pages ridiculously fast. It's very responsive to the touch. It's just a really quick, solid, responsive phone all the time, which is very encouraging.
I was using Fisher's last night, and the first thing I noticed when I turned it on is the screen looked really freaking good.
Screen is nice. It is a little brighter. It is I think it's a slightly lower resolution than the OnePlus 13. It's 1272 pixels across instead of 1440.
Not to send this off the rails, but David, I'd like your thoughts on this because this Marques and I going over the specs and script for this had some confusion about the resolution being 1.5K. He like wrote it in the script. He called it 1.2K.
OnePlus refers to it as the world's first 165 hertz 1.5K display, and they say it over and over and over again. 1.5K, 1.5K. So I keep checking. The max resolution is like 2700 by 1272. So I'm like, why do you keep saying 1.5K? Because the last phone was 1440. That's closer to 1.5K, right?
Yeah.
And then I Googled what 1.5K means, and it doesn't mean 1500 at anything. It just means somewhere between 1K and 2K. 1440 is 2K because it's referring to... Anyway.
It's really confusing. No,
the LG G3 had a 2K display, and that was a big deal.
Because that was 1440.
It was 1440. It was the world's first 1440 smartphone.
Now, why would you call that 2K? If the resolution is 2560 by 1440. Thank you, Alex.
Because the in-between of 2560 and 1440, the average is around 2K?
That would possibly be true, but I think what I realized is for higher resolutions, we refer to it by the horizontal resolution, and for lower resolutions, we refer to it by the vertical. So on YouTube, when you see 240p, that's the vertical resolution. 480p is the vertical resolution. 720p is 1280 by 720. right?
Yeah.
Now, when you refer to the big resolutions, 4K, that's roughly 4,000 across.
3840 is across.
Exactly, or DCI P3, which people always like to talk about DCI as well.
Well, P3 is the color, right?
Sorry, DCI is 4096 across.
DCI 4K, yeah.
But 4K is roughly 4,000 across.
Roughly.
And 8K is roughly 8,000 across.
Right.
A lot of people are getting confused that 4K was 4 times 1080,
right.
which is also happens to be true, but 8K is 16 times 1080. So it's not referring to how many times 1080.
Was it 4 times 4K?
It's 4 times 4K.
Oh, but that's 8.
But
Never
that's
mind.
8. Exactly.
Yeah.
But what if you take
8K,
that divided by 3?
What?
Someone driving is just going to turn off the side of the road right now to not listen to
My
this.
point is, we have like the Ks, which are the horizontal resolution big numbers, and we have the Ps, which are the low resolution vertical numbers.
Yeah.
And then for some reason in between, we just abandon everything and we have 2K, which is
Marketing.
2560 by 1440. And we just call that 2K for I don't know what reason. And then we just adopt slightly less than 2K, which is 1272 across is now 1.5K just because it's less than 2K. How does that make any sense?
I just want, there was a solid like 10 minutes of Marques and I with the scripts in front of us and me being like, you say 1.2K and him holding up the phone and being like, it's 1.2K. And me being like, this is the guide. It says 1.5K. And him being like, but it's 1.2K. I'm not going to lie. And we just neither would budge until we both just had to start Googling.
I'm trying to be clear about this. So, like, the reason they say 1.5 is because the horizontal resolution of a vertical phone. So you're saying, so in vertical aspect ratio.
I don't think we know the answer.
No, the answer is because it's less than 2K, but higher than 1080. That's why it's 1.5.
But why would they?
But it's less
Why would
than
they talk about that as a benefit?
Because it's 1.5K and 165 hertz at the same time, instead of having to pick high resolution or higher refresh.
It's not the first 1.5K phone. That actually helped us move forward on this. Is there are other 1.5K phones? So it's definitely just marketing.
It's just the first 1.5K 165 hertz phone.
Yep.
Well, I'm the first person named David who also
is wearing a blue shirt and
and is in Kearney, New Jersey right now.
Yeah. So that's.
I would bet that's not even true.
Okay.
But yeah, anyway, so
that's
they
dumb. Yeah.
OnePlus, I'm sure in their presentation says 1.5K many times. There is no part of the screen that is 1,500 of anything. It is simply less than 2K, which is why they say 1.5.
I have a potential answer to your thing about horizontal versus vertical resolutions.
Okay.
Is it because we only used to have a horizontal video? And so when we look at something in a vertical format, we kind of just consider it horizontal video that's tilted 90 degrees.
I think this is true before we got a bunch of vertical video. Like 10 years ago when we got the first 8K TVs and 4K, everything was horizontal.
Yeah.
It was just like a nice marketing number. Ooh, 4K. Ooh, 8K.
Yeah.
But 1080 is 1920 by 1080. So I would say 2K
right.
because that
Vertical
feels like
resolution.
2000 across, but that's not 2K. It's 1080.
Yeah, why didn't we call it 1920? Why did we say 1080p?
I would have been the guy that called that 2K back in the day, and I technically would have been wrong.
Well, then there's the whole thing with like HD. There's two definitions of HD.
Yeah. Well, I know about the Hill HD thing because I happen to use that word very often.
All right.
I think 1080 and above deserves to be called HD, but many circles say 720 is included in HD.
720 HD originally meant 720.
Yes.
I thought 1920 was called full HD.
It did. So
FHD.
720p was HD,
Right.
and then 1080p was FHD.
Yeah.
And then UH.
technically 2K, which is 1440p, is QHD, which is quad HD, because HD is 720 and it's quad 720.
Oh my
And then 4K is
And then also-
UHD,
yeah.
which is
Ultra high definition.
Ultra high definition.
3840 because it's 4 times 1080.
And then we'll just have
8K is
the
UHD
bestest
Pro
high
Max.
definition.
It's a lot.
The
Anyway,
goodiest high definition. Yeah.
all that to say, screen, pretty nice.
Yeah. I mean, hey.
What about the rest of the phone?
Yeah. Battery,
Battery
sickest phone I've used ever.
for battery.
7,300 milliamp hours. Silicon carbon.
Wow.
Highest silicon content of any anode we've seen. And also it lasts longer than the I mean, I didn't get to main this because my SIM card wasn't working, so I can't fully rest my laurels on this, but it was lasting longer than the 7,500 milliamp hour Xiaomi 17 Pro Max.
Damn.
This, because they kill background tests and that's the whole thing. It's
Does it
super
not have
efficient.
bands? Is that why?
It just wouldn't let me do my AT&T SIM transfer. So I got a T-Mobile SIM super late.
Oh.
Either way, incredible battery life and 100-watt charging outside of the US, 80-watt charging here, and 50-watt wireless charging. and bypass charging and charge limiting if you want. Like, it's an awesome battery.
Isn't there a thing where it
experience.
reverse wireless charges at 25 watts?
You can do that too. I think it's
22.5 watts.
that was the Xiaomi that did 22.5 watts
Oh,
reverse.
was
I don't
it?
know if this
That's what I
one
was
does it
thinking.
too, but it does reverse if you want.
Got it.
So awesome battery experience. And then it has this like crazy ceramic finish or nano arc something. I don't even know exactly what they're calling it. Like, they did this crazy finish to the
Pro
metal
HD.
where it's basically ultra hard and scratch resistant. So you
Feels
can
pretty hard to me.
yeah, you can drag a coin across the back of it, and it leaves a nasty looking scratch, and then you just wipe it off because you've realized it's scratched the metal of the coin off onto the back of the phone. It's super durable.
Dang.
So I did a whole short just showing that in action. You
Okay,
can
two
take a knife.
questions.
Yeah.
One, does it have MagSafe / Pixel Snap / Qi
2.2.
That is probably the biggest missing feature. They do have cases with magnets in them, but it is not built into the phone. Sadly.
Okay. Second question.
Yeah.
It's really scratch resistant, right? So does that mean that it's more likely to shatter if you drop it?
Yeah.
In theory, yes. I just don't test that, so I don't know. And I'm sure Zach's gonna get his hands on this and do his scratch testing. But
I was wondering if they had anything like in the review guides or something like, don't worry about that, it's fine.
no, they didn't. I mean, they did talk a big game about the finish, and it feels great in the hand, which is like the most important thing. It's got this little micro texture to it. I was using the matte black one, which actually feels even more different from that. But
Really?
I love the finish on the back of
It does feel very hard.
Yeah.
I don't really.
I think it's fiberglass on the back, and then the nano arc whatever is on the rails. But it feels great.
I love the Nano Arc, whatever.
Yeah. So yeah, everything about this phone was great, and then the cameras were a huge letdown.
That
so I'm
sucks.
like, I could daily this
Yeah.
phone, but I would just be super disappointed with the
If it had the
cameras.
Oppo X9 cameras,
That would be nice.
Funny you mentioned that because I was cross-shopping those two phones as you do when you have no intention of buying the phones.
sure you
Am I
don't.
the only one, right? Just watching videos constantly about
Sure
them?
you have no intention of buying the phone?
Not yet. Would you say that the OnePlus 15, this is the 15, right?
Yep.
The OnePlus 15 is like just the Oppo Find X9 Pro, but for the States? Or are there like dramatic differences or meaningful differences between the two, besides the camera, obviously?
I mean, aesthetically, yes. Software-wise, also, like Oxygen OS is closer and closer to Color OS. That it kind of feels like that's also.
Remember they temporarily changed it to ColorOS and people
Yeah.
got mad even though it was like the same software?
Yeah, so they
they
call it
changed it
Oxygen
back.
OS, but basically the
ColorOS
same.
is sick too, though.
Color OS is
You
good.
didn't even remember it.
It is good.
That morning, I was watching a video on ColorOS.
ColorOS on the podcast.
Yeah, it does have a bunch of things like, you know how subtle things. You notice when you open Google Maps, it's not 120 hertz anymore, your phone, or Waze.
I don't notice
It's
that.
always in Android Auto, so I almost never.
Did you notice that Android Auto is not 120 hertz?
I guess I never thought. I guess my eyes are usually on the road.
So yeah, this is like picky little stuff, but like certain apps, Android defaults to not run at 120 hertz to save battery. Like maps, like you don't need 120 hertz maps. You're just gonna
Beg to
update
differ.
for your navigation. Well, okay, perfect, because in this phone you can go through and choose your max refresh rate on an app by app basis.
Oh.
And so you open it up and you see everything set to 120, and then you see Waze and Maps and Android Auto are set to 90 by default. And you can just bump them up to 120 and suddenly you have the smoothest maps experience of any Android phone. That type of stuff, pretty fire. There's a lot of little settings you can mess with. There's also plenty of stuff you don't have to touch. Like I don't use their AI stuff. I don't use Mindspace, but it's there if you want to. Yeah, really, really good phone. Really useful phone.
But do they sell a pocket for it?
There is no pocket for it, but I'm sure you could put it in the Apple Pocket.
I don't
You
know.
just put it in a sock.
Probably explode if you
Or
put it in the sock.
you just buy a $200 sock. You can get
could get
amazing socks for $200.
You get the teenage engineering socks.
They suck.
How much
Yeah,
are
they
those?
sell
Like
like
$70?
Oh yeah.
No, they're not that expensive.
They're
But
like
you can
30
only
bucks.
get them if you buy the whole.
No, I think
No,
you
you
could
can
get
buy
them
them alone.
separately.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
How much were they?
Oh, they're $29.
For two
Yeah,
pair.
$30 for two pairs.
Well, we actually am not sure if it's two
could
pair.
get-
We're definitely sure it's two pairs.
You can get 6 pairs of those socks. Okay. Anyway, yeah,
Okay,
I
well-
like the phone a lot. Watch the full review.
I really want to throw this against concrete and see what happens.
I don't think that's how
Wow.
it works.
Well, that's the whole thing, right? It's hard.
Well, if you're gonna, you don't use a case on your phone,
Nah,
so like the screen's gonna shatter anyway.
maybe.
So
I don't know. What if I threw it sideways? You know.
I feel like he's imagining he throws it and the concrete just like splits underneath it.
Like when a superhero lands.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's true. That'd be fire. I mean,
right.
it kind of feels like you should be able to do that.
Thanks for watching this clip. I have another before and after trivia question for you right now.
Okay.
The question is, a subgenre of role-playing video games that uses turn-based gameplay, procedurally generated dungeons, and is permanent death of a player character, and what you should do on this video.
Roguelike and subscribe.
Damn, you got that really fast.
Wrong.
Oh yeah, that's right.
That's right.
Like Balatro. I play too much Balatro. That's why.
Well played.